Hello friends, welcome to the class on consumer behavior. Today we will discuss consumer buying behavior. We know that some people buy things very quickly and some others very slowly. Some people need a lot of information and such buyers ask for more details. Some other buyers make purchases on impulse without much evaluation and thoughts. Considering all this, four basic types of buyers have been identified by David Merrill and Roger Reed in the early 1980s. Their research paper, Personal Styles and Effective Performance, finds that buyers may be analyticals, amiables, drivers, or expressives. We may look at these buyers very quickly. The first type, analytical buyers. As the title indicates, such buyers are analytical in nature. Before making a buying decision, they look at all the data about the product and compare the features with competing products. They are logical and their decisions are based on detailed information. Analytical buyers cannot take quick decisions unless there is a clear and logical reason for choosing a product. To sell a product to analytical buyer, the marketer also needs to be more analytical and should give evidence that his product is the best one. The amiable buyer. Such buyers are amiable and friendly. They just want everyone to be happy. Because of this, it is often difficult for them to make big decisions. They are constantly worried about how their choice will affect the people around them. This can make their decision-making process very slow. To sell a product to an amiable buyer, it is better to build relationships with them. Amiable buyers hate chaos and changes, and therefore they may take a buying decision if a bit of pressure is put on them. The third category, driver buyers. Drivers are the trendsetters and they are most concerned with their appearance rather than relationships. A driver is most concerned with how others view and follow them. They don't like to be disrespected. Relationships are not a key factor for them in decision making. What is important are results that make the driver looks good. To sell product to a driver buyer, the first thing is to recognize him. Drivers buy only when they feel that the product can improve the appearance and power. While dealing with the drivers, it is better to be confident and assertive. If they trust you, they will make instant buying decisions. Then the last category, expressive buyers. Relationships are key to the expressive buyers. They cannot stand feeling isolated or ignored during a transaction. Instead, they want to feel like one's most important asset. People are the most important commodity to this type of buyer. So they are not giving much importance to the quantity or quality of the product. They want to be needed. So need to highlight their personal value to others. Generally, the expressive buyers are impulsive also. They need immediate attention from the marketer as they feel that they are the most important client of a marketer. They are highly assertive and responsive. If the marketer misses the opportunity to attend to them by being too slow, they may get bored and move on to another project. Okay, we have been discussing the nature of different type of buyers. Behavior is a psychological term. Therefore, let's go over some of the major perspectives in consumer psychology that help us to understand consumer behavior. Under consumer psychology, consumer behavior analysis is done with a view to get answers to some questions such as what consumers think and how they feel about various alternative brands and products. What are the thought processes and emotions behind the consumer decisions? What motivates people to choose one product over another? How consumers' environment, friends, family, media, etc. influences their behavior. And finally, what marketers can do to effectively reach out to their targeted customers. Consumer psychology aims at answering these questions. However, there are differences in opinions and arguments in consumer psychology. Basically, there are two arguments regarding the behavior. These arguments are behaviorism and cognitivism. The first argument, behaviorism. This branch of psychology argues that all of the thoughts, actions and feelings are behaviors and they are caused by external stimuli. It means that the consumers do things because of some outside influences. It's a good piece of information for the marketers because it reveals that the marketing efforts such as the advertisements, product designs, sales promotion techniques, opinions of friends and relatives, etc., have high influence on buying behavior. This underlines the necessity of marketing efforts as the marketers have a lead role in attracting consumers as well as influencing their buying behavior. This approach is behaviorism. Here the argument is this: external factors have strong influence in formulating consumer buying behavior. The next argument is cognitivism. We can look at cognitivism. The cognitive approach says that the behavior is caused mostly by one's own mental processing. According to this, behavior is formed not because of the external factors but because of internal factors. Here, behavior is explained as the outcome of inner characteristics of a person or consumer. Cognitivism is more about explaining things through one's inner behavior, his knowledge, experience, attitude, personality, decision-making process, level of memory, etc. However, cognitivists do not discard the relevance of external stimulus. Under the cognitive perspective, it is the interaction between the external stimulus and one's own rational thinking and mental processing that leads to buying behavior. Thus, here also the marketer has some role in creating and influencing consumer buying behavior. As far as a marketer is concerned, he wants to know more about the consumers, their requirements and expectations about the products. Study of consumer buying behavior is most important for marketers because through this they get knowledge about the expectations of the consumers. It helps them to understand what motivates the consumers to buy a product. It also helps to assess what kind of products are preferred by consumers. Again, the study helps marketers to know what all are the dislikes of consumers. All this information will be useful in designing their marketing efforts. Consumer buying behavior refers to the buying behavior of final consumers. That means the individuals and households who buy goods and services for their own consumption. Under this topic of consumer buying behavior, we try to understand the actions and activities of consumers before and after buying a product. We can proceed by defining the term consumer buying behavior. Consumer buying behavior is the study of individuals or groups and all the activities associated with the purchase, use, and disposal of goods and services, including the consumer's emotional, mental, and behavioral responses that precede or follow these activities. Thus, the consumer buying behavior studies buying behavior of individuals and groups of people, their activities related to buying, usage, and disposal of the product, their emotional, mental, and behavioral responses before and after the buying action. That means the study on buying behavior covers not only the buying process but all the related situations also. For the purpose of academic study, we can classify this buying behavior into four areas. In the first area, we study consumer decision making process. Second area is about consumer involvement in purchases. Nextly, the third area discusses various types of buying behavior expressed by consumers, and finally buying motives of consumers. We can start with the consumer buying decision process. How does a consumer normally take a buying decision? Under consumer behavior studies, the consumer's buying decision has 5 stages. They are need recognition, information search, evaluation of alternatives, purchase of product, and post-purchase evaluation. Let's start with an example. Now online classes are going on. In order to attend classes, you need a mobile phone or a laptop. Need has an important role in purchase decision. Need is the initiative to make purchases, and it can also be the catalyst which can speed up the decision process. Of course, this is the first stage in the decision process. We call this the need identification stage. Need identification is the first stage in the buying decision process. Okay, what is the second stage? What will you do next to get a mobile or laptop? We can continue the example. To get a mobile, you can ask for the one occupied by your father or mother. If they are ready to share their phone, there is no need to buy. Otherwise, you need to buy one. For the time being, we can proceed with the purchase. Mobile is a costly one, and therefore you cannot make the purchase within a second. In all purchase decisions where we spend more or where we find it expensive, we usually plan it. We try to know more about the product, its features, price, warranty, brand, etc. When an individual recognizes his need for a particular product, he tries to gather as much information as he can. So as a second step, we collect as much information as possible with a view to get better awareness about the product. We call this stage as information search. We are still in the second stage of purchase decision, that is information search. We got information. Some recommended Samsung, some others recommended Lenovo, and some Apple, Oppo, and like many. Now you need to take a decision. For the purpose, you need to know the benefits and limitations of each brand. Here you are making an evaluation of all available options and compare these features. An individual, after gathering relevant information, tries to choose the best option available as per his need, taste, and pocket. In this step, one tries to evaluate the various alternatives available in the market. The next stage comes stage of evaluation of alternatives. At the end of evaluation, of course, you get some idea and reach to a conclusion. This conclusion is the purchase decision. We call this stage as purchase of product. At this stage, the person purchases the product. Do you think that we can end the process here? No. In all 10 concepts of marketing, marketers had such a view. Now we know that in order to assess consumer behavior, we should follow the consumer. We should know whether he is happy with our product or not. We should know his opinions and comments on the product. We know that such comments are relevant in formulating our future marketing strategies. So we can go to the next stage of decision process. This is called post-purchase evaluation. Post-purchase evaluation refers to a customer's analysis whether the product was useful to him or not, whether the product fulfilled his need or not. Once again, we can look at the consumer buying decision process. The stages were problem recognition, information search, evaluation of alternatives, purchase decision, and post-purchase behavior. The first stage was need or problem recognition. This is the stage where the consumer identifies the need for a product. From where this need arises? Need can be triggered by internal or external stimuli. American psychologist Henry Murray classified needs as primary needs and secondary needs. Primary needs are the basic needs that are based upon biological demands such as the need for oxygen, food, and water. Secondary needs are generally psychological, such as the need for love, independence, achievement, etc. Marketing people usually add one more type of need to this list. It can be called tertiary needs or learned needs. This need is raised not internally but from external stimulus. For example, we use chappals and therefore we need chappals. Why do we need chappals? We have learned that chappals can protect feet and it is hygienic also. Such needs are learned needs because such needs arise when we learn things. The second stage of buying process is information search. After need, we usually collect information about the products from various sources. The sources may be personal sources, commercial sources, public sources, or experiential sources. Personal sources include friends, family members, relatives, co-workers, and other acquaintances. Here we talk or discuss the matter with members in personal circle and collect information and opinions. The commercial sources are advertisements or information from salespeople, ideas received from labels and the packaging of products, displays in shops, etc. The information get from newspaper, radio, magazines, television, etc. can be called the public sources of information. In addition to all this, in the case of certain items, perhaps we may have some previous usage experiences, or we might have observed the product elsewhere. This is one's own experiences on the item. This source is known as experiential sources. After collecting information, we evaluate them. Consumers usually evaluate products as bundles of attributes such as brand attributes, product features, aesthetic attributes, price, etc. Different customers place different levels of importance on each of these attributes. Some may give importance to price, others may be interested in quality, and still some others may look at durability. After evaluation, the buying decision comes. Here, one special thing is very important for marketers, that the buying decision and the act of buying are distinct concepts. All decisions may not be materialized. So marketers should be very vigilant at this stage. Even the slightest provocation from the salesperson may affect the decision adversely. Some customers may change their mind at the last moment. Availability of product is another matter to be noticed by the marketer. Then after purchase process, the post-purchase behavior of consumers need to be observed. This is done in the last stage, post-purchase behavior. Post-purchase satisfaction and evaluation are to be collected for further improvement of marketing efforts. Generally, four possible outcomes may arise in post-purchase stage. They are delight, satisfaction, dissatisfaction, and cognitive dissonance. We always aim at delighting the consumer, as it is the situation where the consumer gets more than his expectation and he excites at the purchase. Cognitive dissonance is the situation where he feels some kind of dissatisfaction after making some rational analysis after the purchase. In this case, he may not purchase the product again. Now, the second area under buying behavior, that is consumer involvement. We have seen that some people take serious interest in certain purchases and some are making their purchases very easily without much seriousness. In making certain purchases, such as a car or a house, the consumer is giving much attention to the process and spending a lot of time and effort in collecting details, and he feels very much enthusiastic and interested in the process. He always think and talk about it. Here the customer shows high involvement in the purchase. At the same time, when we purchase a toothpaste or ice cream, the customer is not much serious in collecting and analyzing information. That means here the customer shows low involvement. This type of consumer responses are known as consumer involvement. It may be a high involvement or a low involvement. Involvement is an internal state of mind which a consumer experiences while making purchases. It is the level of intensity of consumer in the buying process. Consumer involvement refers to the depth of interest expressed by the consumer in buying process. On the basis of his intensity, involvement may be classified as high or low. High involvement is shown by purchasing higher valued and costly items. High involvement is also seen in times of buying certain items which the consumer buys only once or twice in their lifetime. Involvement is the embodiment of time, effort, consideration given, and the enjoyment that is derived by consumer while choosing a product or service. Certain factors affect the degree of involvement of buyers in making purchase decisions. These include their level of knowledge, information, psychology, culture, lifestyle, social system, etc. However, even for the same product or service, the degree of involvement of an individual may vary depending upon the circumstances. Consumer involvement in purchases may have various forms. Each and every consumer is expressing this involvement in different ways of actions. Some may express this involvement in the form of commitment towards a product or person. When you make a birthday gift to your beloved friend, your commitment may be high. Involvement may be in the form of ego also. Ego is the sense of self-esteem or self-importance of a person. When a lady buys a sari or a gentleman buys a car or you people buy a laptop, you are involved to the buying process because of this ego. Still, some other people express their involvement by communicating relevant information to everybody in the family or his organization. Such people may not have much other opportunities in participating in the decision-making process. Such people take part serious involvement in making discussions on the matter. In connection with involvement, another term, motivation is very important. Motivation and involvement are very much related to each other. When motivation is high, involvement will also be high. The next area under buying behavior is types of consumer buying behavior. The involvement theory says that there are high involvement and low involvement in purchases. It depends on the degree of involvement of purchase to a consumer. There are 4 types of consumer buying behavior on the basis of buyer involvement. They are complex buying behavior, dissonance reducing buying behavior, variety seeking buying behavior, and habitual buying behavior. You can see complex buying behavior and dissonance reducing buying behavior are coming under high involvement category. But their product features are different. Under complex behavior, product brands have significant differences. But in the case of dissonance reducing behavior, product differences are minimum. Similarly, under low involvement category, there are 2 types of behaviors such as variety seeking behavior and habitual buying behavior. In the case of variety seeking behavior, product brands have significant differences, and these differences are minimum in the case of habitual buying behavior. We can look at these behaviors in detail. At first, we can see the high involvement purchase behaviors, that is complex buying behavior and dissonance reducing behavior. The first one, complex buying behavior. When the goods purchased are high priced and have more attention value, such purchase involves certain risks. What are the risks involved in such purchases? The risks are personal risk, social risk, and economic risk. That means such a purchase will affect your personality, social status, and economic condition. For example, you want to buy a car. In market, different types of cars are available. There are significant differences in power, comfort, price, luxury, etc. You know that the car must be suitable to show your personality. Different brands have different levels of social acceptance. Therefore, your car must be able to express your personality. Similarly, your car has a social risk also, because it reveals your status in the society. You cannot buy a car which reduces your status. In addition to all, the car requires high investment and therefore there is economic risk also. Here, the consumer buying process becomes a complex one as it needs to make a balance between these risks. The consumer needs to eliminate these multiple risks with the purchase of a most suitable car. Thus, the purchase decision becomes much complex and requires much involvement. The buying behavior under this situation is called complex buying behavior. When the consumer is highly involved in the buying and there are significant differences between brands, the buying behavior shows by the consumer is called complex buying behavior. The next one, dissonance reducing buying behavior. Dissonance means lack of agreement or harmony between people or things. Dissonance reducing buying behavior occurs when the consumer is highly involved but sees little difference between brands. This is likely to be the case with the purchase of a mixer grinder or a wedding costume. At the time of purchase, all brands look good. You are very much involved in selecting the best, but all are having more or less similar qualities and features. That means there are not much significant differences between brands. However, you select one at the end after making a lot of evaluation and analysis. After making a purchase under such circumstances, a consumer is likely to experience the dissonance that comes from noticing that other brands would have been equally good. If the consumer feels such a second thought or ill feeling after the purchase, it is called dissonance. Under this type of purchases, dissonance can occur if consumers worry afterwards that they may have made the wrong choice. Here the consumer neither attempting changing the product nor abandoning the product. He tries to find the reasons for believing that his purchase was nice. A consumer in such a buying situation seeks information or ideas that justify his original purchase. Thus, he tries to reduce his dissonance. In dissonance reducing buying behavior, consumer involvement is very high. This might be due to high price and infrequent purchases. Then we can come to low involvement purchases. The first one, variety seeking buying behavior. Variety seeking buying behavior occurs when the consumer involvement is low. At the same time, there are significant differences between brands. In this case, the cost of switching products is low, and so the consumer may perhaps simply out of boredom move from one brand to another. Such is often the case with ice creams and soft drinks. In this situation, a consumer purchases a different product not because they were not satisfied with the previous one, but because they seek variety. In this case, consumer involvement is low while buying the product, but there are significant differences between brands. Marketers avoid out-of-stock conditions, sponsor frequent advertising, offer lower prices, discounts, deals, coupons, and free samples to attract consumers in this case. These strategies reduce consumer switching behavior. The next type, habitual buying behavior. Habitual purchases are characterized by the fact that the consumer has very little involvement in the product or brand category. Imagine grocery shopping. You go to the store and buy your preferred types of bread or other items. You are exhibiting a habitual pattern, not a strong brand loyalty to any product. Habitual buying behavior occurs when involvement is low and differences between brands are small. Consumers in this case usually do not form a strong attitude towards a brand, but select it because it is familiar. In these markets, promotions tend to be simple and repetitive so that the consumer can, without much effort, learn the association between a brand and a product class. When consumers are buying products that they use for their daily routine, they do not put a lot of thought. They either buy their favorite brand or the one that they use regularly, or the one available in the store, or the one that costs the least.